Yeah, when I see the basketball, it's not going into your yard anymore because the basket is down.
Well, that's been on for a long time.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Well, problem was. Kids were over
If you don't want, I'll just give I think I'll give a brief synopsis of this, or I don't have to give anything on it, I just wanted to, this is the beach dune, I just want to give an update, I don't have to do anything with it, you just want to breathe, we don't have to do anything, I just want to give a written thing to them.
Yeah.
So that,
Even,
if you don't want me to give anything, okay.
the sanitary crew.
Students in the crowd.
Every time.
Various.
Is there anybody? Nobody
I'm not there. Oh. Every time we call, right there. In here. Just now. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, there ain't much to it today.
Well, I'm like, wait, I don't have it, and then I go, there's not there, but I put it in here.
You throw that off. She said, "Couple of four people." Even though it was sound of being incorporated, it didn't say anything about a certain aspect of the being there. It's ridiculous. His reasoning was ridiculous.
Grandmother's people. You know, I had it somewhere, but I haven't found it. I haven't-
It's got a little more in it than you had, because I attached a policy that we should have gone over for police of the year.
Okay.
And they're the same, but we need to look at those policies.
Yeah, I got.
So, Anyway.
I got a list of.
and Tracy
What's
was
this?
down there, putting it all, find money together.
I made a list because I made a list
Yeah, we're-
and let's get along and all that stuff.
Oh, Kevin,
It's a big list.
okay, I don't know that I got another him because he hasn't done anything yet.
I've got one.
He did this himself. That's got all the policies together that Tracy recommended, and I agree with her on that would help the new board member. The goal on my mind would be to
That's fire department. I had to talk to him by phone, he was in Massachusetts.
here's
So just cover your softball tournament, your golf tournament, all good. Yeah, that'll work.
Don't mind, I would like to.
We can't do that.
We
I
can,
don't believe so.
yes, we can. I mean,
Not if he's not a current.
It's for a land acquisition.
The bullies.
So, He wants to own some property,
Somebody harvested them
but he also
That's
needs
outside.
to talk to
on the south side of the bridge.
No, that's really.
Boy, there's the other stuff that we've got to talk about, he's not.
Well, you could have him just say his case and leave.
that. Yeah, I don't think we have, it's just,
That's fine.
that's information.
Over there, and you look past.
And then, I was just asking to leave and he gets.
Yeah, no, I'm not asking him to stay for the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, just for the, his proposal. and I haven't seen it, so I don't know exactly what it is, but it has to do with the downtown vision.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sorry.
We're trying to get rid of stone work and road checklists. I tried over two things of road basic.
And the work chestnuts there, so.
Yeah. I just cleaned out just north of the great shop. And I don't know how many bolts.
Yeah, didn't you
All of
know?
Yeah, that's.
So it's the.
For me, I have extras.
Yeah,
That's what,
oh,
just a point, you and they go out there with the kayak, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's a-
I can't wait to go home and watch Ted and fall asleep.
Yeah, there you go.
Not how I know it, and I can't wait to go home, just leave it at that.
Yeah, for a kid waiting for a graduate.
Yeah, this is my third night this week. I've had either a meeting or more. So. Move us along.
I understand.
Be careful, Bunker. You're not supposed to harvest,
Yeah, I think. I said over
Here?
Over here, wherever.
It does the interrupt. Here.
Got that right here. So.
Next to the stuff.
Hey, how you doing?
That's one of the villages, just waste.
Here's highway. So my boys, highway, made their own list of what they want. They gotta have one for you. That's all. Well, they just. They're. You got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
They wrote it out, I figured it'd be.
Well,
Yeah, I love it.
I like that.
Yeah, it's
I wasn't looking at it because it was handwritten, I was looking at the length of it.
Yeah.
That's a great report. That means lots of stuff happened.
Like to welcome everybody tonight. Stand for the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Matt. Matt here. Lori, you're here?
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah.
Kathy,
Matthew St. Laurent Council.
Kevin Russell, CEO.
PC Durham, clerk treasurer.
Kalush mayor. Everybody's here. Thank you. Approval of the July 24th, regular meeting minutes. Need a motion, if he's taking a look at them.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second, all in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Okay, under reports, I'll start out. I've got a couple of short but sweet here. Fire department's report for this month, or for the last month. They had a softball tournament, fire department softball tournaments like 35 or 40 years they've been playing up in Williamson. They placed third out of 8 teams. Normally they have 16, but things are down, people doing too many things. And then they did their golf tournament. That was on Saturday and Sunday. The softball tournament was. And then on Monday, they had their golf tournament fundraiser. They got a full boat with that. They had, full group of teams. I guess it went fairly well. Normally it rains that day and it didn't.
Oh.
So that takes care of that part of the report. Wait a minute. Got Kevin's here, the CEO. Had 6 permits. Total permits were $1,101 was taken in. Thank you, Kevin. Trustee Sprague.
Okay, so for wastewater, the average flow for the month was 0.163 million gallons per day. We did a smoke test complete and located a few issues that will be addressed. We had normal summer challenges for the plant. Had to treat for some issues to get the biology under control. Coliseum finally showed up to work on some of our lift stations and fix some antennas on Margaret Road. Lab tests look great. See, we did have a pipe failure, South Shore lift station, and they're getting quotes to repair it. Checking the manholes during the smoke test. We have to do some sewer cleaning, and we also have couples that we have to fix, and then Bob Elliott is helping with the water design to try to fix something that's going on with moving the fluid so that they can dehydrate it, if you will. And then for water. Village of Soda's Point the Village of Sodas is actually doing the wastewater for us right now. They do all the sampling and take care of that. The monthly report is completed and submitted to the health department. and all the daily water tests have been done. We repaired 2 water leaks in the village, and we're gonna save probably quite a bit of, water because of that. And then, Kevin worked with Rural Waters to detect leaks and didn't find anything else. All pre-master meters, in-district water meters were read and reported as required. And Bob Elliott is working, on engineering the second connection to the water system so that we have 2 separate water systems. So everything is, going well in the water.
You will. The village of Sodas is taking care of water testing.
Correct.
You said wastewater.
Sorry, water test.
Okay, just to make sure, so it's in the minutes, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And TNT is doing the
They're
wastewater like
they always have.
like we have before.
So that's everything on mine.
Okay, trustee Madison?
Ambulance, Silverwater, it's ambulance for the month of July, they had 19 calls and 10 of those were billable. On blow off day, which is July 9th, there was only 1 call. Keith Egner, who is the director of operations, he reports that, the second person on the crew this summer, that's worked out really well, and because 911 dispatch knows that we have a full crew here ready to go, that's helped us out, more than, having to hunt up a crew, so that's been useful. He wishes it was year round, he understands the situation, but anyway, that's that. Zoning, in addition to the regular cases, the board is reviewing the proposed draft for the zoning code changes done by proposed by the LWRP committee. They're working on that. Tourism, our season's winding down. We had a lot of great weather this summer after a wet start. The information center is closing after Labor Day. The Neighborhood Association, their last free concert, which has been going really well. Music Tuesday will be this next week. The Sunshine Vintage Car Parade will be on Labor Day weekend on that Saturday, as usual. There will not be fireworks this Labor Day weekend. Looking ahead, there will be a fall spectacular in the ball fields in October 12th, sponsored by the Neighborhood Association. Communications, as things wind down, continue to let the village know of events that are going on or things that can be shared. It's communications@soduspoint.info.
Yes.
That's it.
Cool. Trustee Noel?
So I had the guys go over what they did last month and they wrote it out handwritten. So in August 2025, pulled all the weeds that were going around the fire department memorial and behind it. And we sprayed it. Weed eated along the wall and riprap by the bay on the lower Wickham Boulevard. Swept Main Street, the curbs and gutters, all the way to the loop, Wickham Boulevard. Bay Street Extension, both municipal parking lots, 2 times this month. Also swept the other streets, removed all the washed stone from the 2 islands in the municipal parking lot, which is Willow Park, and replaced with topsoil and seeded. I guess kids were knocking the stones out, so they got rid of that. Kept up with the mowing, the weeding, and the roadside mowing, edged the sidewalks, paper bricks, and around the little park and playground. Picked up 7 loads of brush around the village. Restored the area behind the information booth where a new yard hydrant was installed, hand raked topsoil seeded, and put the garden club stone walkway back in place. Worked on a water drainage project in 2 different areas along the sidewalk and municipal parking lot east of the ball. There was a bunch of stones in that area. They removed it because he's afraid to hit them, but mower hit part. So it's been all removed.
Good. What's up? You want that?
Yeah.
CEO Russell?
I don't know if the board wants me to go over the Dune, update, you guys are chat. Mary's here, so we can,
Do you want to do Lori's?
yeah, if you wanna have. Mary go
Yes,
first,
let's
yeah.
do it.
Okay, good idea. Our group met with the playground, or with the Lions Club, and had a great meeting, and they're going to work on some grants with us. The playground is in great shape, and I'd like to thank your group for getting it all leveled. I went over there the other day. I went when they first did it and then I went over the other day. It's still holding well. Tina's gonna come back and spray the brick
And we have a lot.
because we
of
have
bags left over.
children's vinegar that we put on the weeds around the pavers and to meet state compliance. The EV stations were a huge disappointment. We lost it at the state level because there was a line item when this was submitted in 2022 that had $4,000 on each EV station for mayoral time. I did not write that. That didn't come from me, but that's what cost us those grants. And there was no way I could resolve that issue beforehand. Well, I'd like to thank Tracy and Melanie and Kevin because we worked our tails off. Jim Bittaker worked his tail off to get us all in line. We had everything done. I was at the county fair with my granddaughter, watching her ride horses when I got the call. I did everything I could with a sunshine phone, trying to take care of it, and we just couldn't. We did everything we could to try to save it. So that had nothing to do with this administration, though. I left that quite clear. The last thing that I forgot to put on here, because I forgot when I did it, was I checked all the training for the planning board. Everybody that had been on the board was completely caught up. The new board members are, of course, getting their things ready, and I sent that information to Bruce. So I think we're in good stead, and at least I think I sent it to Bruce. I'm sitting here thinking it's very possible I didn't because there's been a lot going on. But anyway, I will check to make sure. But it was not anything that I needed to worry about. Let's put it that way. It was going great. So and they have been very busy. So other than that, everything's good.
Thank you for your help.
So, quick kind of synopsis, you guys have a full write-up that, you guys can keep and, help you answer questions on it if you need to. But, last month, it was about a month ago, Lori Hayden invited me along with, some members from the Beach Advisory Committee, New York Sea Grant, DEC. We walked the beach dune. I wasn't aware that there was some areas that weren't being fully taken care of. And it's kind of surprising to all of us. So they're able to address, there were some issues that need to get taken care of, caught up on, and we kind of all put our heads together and said, hey, there's a problem here, let's try and solve it. So Mary, with the help of Sea Grant and Roy, they've been interviewing people the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, to try and get all the input from the residents along the beach. We're taking that input. I'm working with Beth Geldart from the DEC, Kevin Rooney from Wayne County Highway, and we're trying to come up with a plan to get us back as close as we can to the original dune structure. And then Dr. Reinhardt, myself, Kevin Rooney, we're all trying to make a maintenance plan that we can then go forward with if the DEC accepts it. And then we can kind of get us into the maintenance phase that we're supposed to be in with the dune going forward. So we're moving extremely fast right now, faster than I thought we would be, but it's kind of good.
Yeah, that's very
because
good.
The DEC kind of wants us to be in that phase. Lori Hayden's been awesome. She's been working really, really quick and efficient. Everyone on the beach committee has been awesome. Kevin Rooney's been great. Mary's been awesome. So we're all working really well together right now. So it's
I know, Mary, you had a meeting with Jean Halligan. Am I correct on that? About a Zoom?
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
That was interviewed, yeah.
And she's been really struggling with health issues and then dealing with this huge dune. And I had been monitoring that, so I was very grateful when you got involved.
Thank you.
So,
I think one thing that would be helpful is if you guys could put a push out for the people that maybe haven't signed up. Roy and I added more times because the next date with interviews is the 25th and all of those times were filled, but some of the earlier dates, people didn't sign up. And so we added dates on the mornings of the 26th and 27th, like morning into early afternoon. So maybe if that could go in the minutes of the beach property owners that haven't yet, and I can send the link.
So they're having that picnic this weekend. Maybe
Okay.
they could reach out to them and just
Okay.
say that they just remind them, that there's other spots.
And we've kind of been talking to, and I don't want to complicate where we're at right now,
Yeah.
but going forward, like, once we get this under control. Right now, the committee is not a subcommittee of the village board, but it might be a good idea for us to think about making it a subcommittee. Just a thought, that's something you guys maybe could think about.
The problem with it, I've watched this and gone down and talked to people about this for the last 2 or 3 years since we had it. And they're beautiful, they were definitely getting too big. And the decision by the former administration was plop, basically. This isn't our jurisdiction, this isn't our problem. It was never really addressed. I believe that the people that were kind of, I don't want to say injured, because they weren't hurt that way, but they weren't heard. And the fact that you're hearing them and that you're doing this, I clap my hands for it, because it didn't happen before.
Well, I'm gonna give credit to Mary, to Lori, because they're the ones. who
Well,
are doing
I
the legwork
agree,
and-
yeah, no. I thank you for that, because
You're welcome.
they didn't know what to do. There was no real drive or plan or who was responsible, except that the homeowner was stuck with this big blob in their yard and couldn't see out their kitchen windows anymore. And what you've done, and I've heard that they're being done through the toe like they're supposed to be. Everything's going well as to what the plans are gonna be, and that the county had helped out finally too.
Yeah, so.
And it's a county beach.
Yeah, well, parts of it are the
Yeah.
county beach. So what we're doing is putting all of this information together, and then we're also like, we have this standard question at the end that says, what were you hoping that we would ask that we didn't, or is there something else that you want to say related to the dunes that you didn't get a chance to say? And so we are getting some feedback about the committee, and we're also getting feedback about just people didn't understand what the plan was or how to access the plan. And so I think it just speaks to transparency. And so I appreciate that the village is actually going through
Me
the
too.
process to make this very transparent. And then we'll bid all of this stuff. DEC will look at it and say, this is not permittable. These things are challenging, but maybe. And then these low hanging fruit, which will be the things that we can hopefully do this fall. And Soil and Water is still on board for doing that measurement, and it's just gonna be,
That's good.
it's gonna be difficult to continue to get them to do it on an annual basis, so we're just gonna have to keep pushing.
Yeah, and just for clarification, it's gonna be difficult to get us back to that original structure, because it is federally protected. But we're gonna do our best to do what we can do, it's gonna be tough.
It was almost, I felt really bad for the people, because it wasn't just a few. But they had very little voice, because the committee was pretty close.
Mhm.
And they, for whatever reason, and I know they were working hard on it, but through it, they didn't hear the people say they're getting too big, we've got to do something. And those that were told that were doing it and volunteered to do it really felt almost like that they had been baited for this thing that they would never be able to control. And then on top of that, you had kids climbing them and doing all sorts of stuff, which I've seen in Stony Pond or Sandy Pond and things like that, where they have them. And there's clear signage and stuff like that, which we don't want a ton of signs around either. So, but they are beautiful. And they will do the job, I think, or at least assist if water comes in. And I support the project overall. It was just that nobody really came out. And once again, we got a grant, and then we didn't have any plan for the maintenance. And the plan that they had wasn't clearly articulated right up front from the beginning. So I am really happy that this is happening.
Matt just brought up a point that we should just make a note of. So that's been a big question. The emergency plan that we have, because we have an emergency plan, we would sandbag in between the right of ways, and then on First Street, we would sandbag, or we have a water bladder. The state purchased a bunch of those giant black water bags that we used. They purchased a bunch of those and those are in the stockpile down in Albany. So if we ever needed them, we would just call and get those and have them, put in. So we probably should add that to our.
For the water to go right around.
Right.
It
do
would,
it.
we would just, we do have an emergency plan for that, but we'll have to put that down.
Yeah.
Part of
wait,
it, yeah.
that maintenance.
Yeah.
I mean, they dredge the
Channel.
channel, right? I mean, things get filled in,
What's that?
they dredge it.
Yeah, the sand, it naturally collects there, yeah.
It's natural.
So,
So good job.
yeah, we're trying.
So you're looking for that they become an official, so.
I wouldn't do anything now. That'd be my recommendation, just because you don't want to mess any of the works up, but then in the future, just think about it. But right now, we're in a really good place moving forward.
Well, and having the county come in for their portion and us work together, that's a major part of it.
Mhm.
That was huge. And Scott Johnson actually is one that got them involved. So that's great.
Mhm.
So I believe that's how it went.
Okay, we're going to public comments. Anybody in the public have a comment?
That's scary.
But give me a minute.
There?
How about,
raise hand.
how about Zoom? Anybody on Zoom there?
Looks like Gene has a hand
Yeah.
Yep, this is Jean. I'd like to make a comment.
You got it, 3 minutes max.
I am sorry, I am riding on a stretcher in a vehicle, and so you don't have to stare at me. I'm just gonna turn the video off. And, let me just get to some bullet points I have here. The Beach Advisory Committee had a legal charter, supposing that the village board ratified it, and it expired in 2021. And it's beyond belief to me that this village would be listening to an individual private citizen whose charter was over in 2021. And the process that led us to get to the point of the overgrowth of the dune needs to be understood by the taxpayers in the village. The dune always had to be maintained. I find that the Beach Advisory Committee has been a terrible failure. And I understand that it was Mike Reinhardt who really dug his heels in. I tried in 2023. And when I kept repeatedly advocating for dune management, I was removed from the committee and received an email from Lori that said, I am removing you from a committee that she never had a charter for, that is not legal, and you're not in compliance with New York State Municipal Code. I found that the meetings were run in an authoritarian manner, and I cannot see continuing the dune under the current leadership. As a private citizen, there have been inappropriate private meetings about public and private property that we all should have had access to. And although I understand that's going to change, what happened needs to be exposed so the village doesn't go down that path again. I raised the issues in 22, 23, and then in 23, it's in your village board member minutes that Lori Hayden was going to bring back her committee. Those are the words in your village board minutes. She can't bring a private citizen committee. The right way to do it would be a conservation advisory committee charter. And I found that on the New York State Attorney's webpage through the advice of an attorney, admittedly online over the weekend. But I verified it and it's all correct. The old BAC charter states that the village board members will appoint the members. When she brought this committee back into action, she appointed herself the chair, ran the meetings in secret, didn't publish the meeting minutes, didn't allow people to view or even sit in on the Zoom meetings. She handpicked the members of the advisory board. That is not consistent with transparent government and New York State regulations.
Jeannie, I'm going to stop you right there. That's your 3 minutes. Thank you very much for your input.
Before you go, please make note of who it was. It wasn't just Lori. What was it? Lori who?
It was Lori Hayden, and I want to work with the county government. I want to sign an easement, but because of what's gone on, I posted the property in 24. I don't want to do it again. I want to work with you. I want to work with the committee, but you gotta do it in a legal manner. I'm done. Thank you.
I'm gonna mute you. Thank you.
She's good. She was
Anybody else?
absolutely right, Phil. I'm not.
Anybody else on Zoom?
But
No other raised hands. All right. Public comments are closed. Old business. We'll start with interview process. You wanna do that one?
This was, you guys.
I put it in,
Last
yeah,
Okay.
month. I don't know.
so it was to find out, do we have new hires? What, did we do it? Did we finish it? Do we have offers? Where are we with at it when we're pretty shorthanded? But I know you're doing a great job with
Oh,
it.
so yeah, I thought you were talking about this.
Well,
This.
yeah,
that you guys
we were
looked at
looking for the interview
Ronnie's-
process.
Yeah, I thought that's what you meant, but the rest of it should,
That was,
we'll discuss when we go into
Yeah, because it
executive session.
needs to be an executive session. The rest of it because of it being a labor issue.
okay, so we,
Alright, so then,
Well,
but do we have do we have a list of people that have been interviewed and that sort of thing?
we have three that we started, two.
Because we had them last month too, and,
But that's, we'll discuss that over there, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And then going back to it, there was something else on the interview process. The paperwork, so you put a paper in here in our board packet, because I didn't see it.
oh, no, this was I thought this was what you were talking
But
about.
yeah, I see what you've got
Is
there.
it-
That
is
looks
that-
like something we should all have a copy of.
Yeah.
You got that last
But,
week,
yeah,
that
this
was the
week-
one that I wrote up for you,
Okay,
that was. just-
okay, right, I
Okay,
forgot.
Yeah.
Alright, so then we'll just move on from.
Okay,
I'm sorry, thank you.
we'll move on to the next one, B, which is Willow Park parking lot. Don't know what we're doing, what are we,
Are we gonna start doing the bidding process to try to get done?
we got, this fall was supposed to be when Kevin
Kevin,
and.
yes, it's still, as far as I know, he's still supposed to be helping.
I'll find out.
with it. Yeah,
I'll call him on Monday and then get it later.
Cause we gotta start get them the bid out.
no, if it's
No, you
on
don't.
county bid, we don't have to bid it
Yeah,
out.
because-
Oh, we're gonna do the paving?
So if it's something's on county bid, it's already been bid out, so like in
So
the
we
bid
don't
book.
have
So in the bid book, the things are already bid,
Yes,
so
yes.
you just take and pick from the bid book. So those
So they
bids
just
are,
bill you for square foot or whatever.
yeah, like those things are already set, like in the county bid book.
Those
There's
are all the
always,
milling and all that?
everything's in, so like milling's in the bid book,
Okay.
price per,
All the different areas.
yeah, everything, materials, everything's in there.
So we don't.
So
have
that's
to
what
track
Kevin
it
was
down.
saying, like,
Yeah.
he can go through and say, and I don't wanna put him on the hook, because
Right.
if something's changed, I don't wanna
Right.
speak for him, you're gonna have to check to make sure.
Right,
Cause now he's helping me with this, with the Dune project, which is gonna be a task in itself.
Mhm.
So I don't wanna put him on the hook without.
Alright, so Bill, you'll just.
I will
touch
give,
base with-
yes, I will give a call over and talk to him, because I think Mike Crandall's gonna be the one that's second. Okay. Next one, C, wastewater pump repair versus replacement.
So this is another one, last month, there was there's one, just a writing on here about replacing a pump and then repairing a pump. But there's
So-
nothing more with that, I didn't get anything else.
So we had a pump in stock and we had a pump go bad, so we put the pump in. We have the bad pump that needs to either be repaired or replaced.
Sure.
We should repair it because it's
So
a lot less expensive than to replace.
We're
Was that like 12,000
No.
repaired or something?
No, I think it was several thousand to repair, it was 12,000 to buy a new.
It's 708 for the pump repair from Fleet, who they're the ones who are housing it.
Right.
Correct,
Yeah,
To buy a new one was like,
28,
Yeah.
well, that's.
that's a lot more money.
written,
Yeah, yeah.
We don't know,
Yeah.
there's no information.
So do you want me to talk to Josh and get a quote and then
If you.
I think we
want
just need to
more-
repair it. Okay, that's on me.
There.
do they give us a warranty if they repair it?
Other place that. was-
So it's not going in live, it's literally, I mean, the warranty.
Guys, let Trace.
But you need, like, you need to have, you should really have at least two, like, even if he makes it, yeah.
Yeah,
makes
I got it, I understand the process, I'll do
But,
that. Yep.
It's the backup, so you really need backup.
Right.
So that's all, so that I didn't get anything more, so I don't know if you can really, I mean,
I'm
unless you're just gonna go with, I mean.
gonna call Josh and we're gonna call around. Make it happen.
All set on that? Village handbook for new board members?
So thank you, Tracy. She's the one that had sent me and actually Kevin and Maxine and the board from years ago, we took this all together. It's a great book. I know that some of you had copies of it, but then I realized that we didn't all have copies. But I also had Tracy pull all of the procurement policies and everything. You didn't get one? Here, you have them. I got one. Anyway, the policies that every new board member should familiarize themselves with. The other thing that is, I was sitting down and put it together, and I'm gonna just do a quick report with this. So that we have everything that we are responsible for. So what happens with the new board member when they come in? Matt, how long was it before you realized you had to sign checks?
I don't know.
You got the procurement policy. When did you get that? And they're great about getting it if you know, don't ask it. The problem is when you're a new board member, you don't know. You come in here green as grass, but you have 6 weeks probably before you're appointed to the board. So you'd have time to refresh yourself, read through this thing. Those are all the state guidelines and things. Kevin, do you have any comments to say about this is put on the shelf? If I'd had that when I was a new board member, that would have expedited a lot of things.
What this?
Yeah, it was great, and it was sitting on a shelf, and it was done pretty well. There's a couple of things that I've got, I think I wrote on that one, there were 2 tweaks. Other than that, it's pretty consistent with everything, and it's the state regulation. It's very well done. And so when Kevin came up with it at our meeting, I wasn't sure that at that one work session, and this is probably where we should have done this. But we didn't do the work session because we're all too busy. And that's the way it is. But to get back in here, we need to talk about, or we should have in there, like, we talked about board meetings and when our report should get in. Matt, when do you think your board report is due? Do you know?
My board report,
Yeah, Matt, and I've been negligent here.
the week before the,
No, it's supposed to be on Friday. Most of us get it in Thursday. Because again, we're doing meetings up till the end. We're doing all sorts of things. You want to have the most up to date things. And we also have livelihood or lives. But if you at least know the expectation, you're getting it ready. When we first came in, I didn't know about a board report. I think it was my second meeting before I knew. And when I came in to sign checks, I didn't know about signing checks because it wasn't told to me. So you're treading water to get started. Something like this puts it forward for the board member and you're not treading water. That's all I'm looking for is something that informs people of their responsibilities, takes some work off of Tracy. It could go to them once they're elected and they come in to sign the thing. Welcome to the board.
So what I think would be, this is good. I think what we want to add to this is a checklist of the board responsibilities, because I didn't know a lot of it when I started.
I agreed.
And it just could be a 1-pager that's okay, you gotta sign this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this,
You're welcome.
right?
Yeah, we just, and I gotta get it, so otherwise I'll forget.
Right, and then we got this page that says, okay, well, these are the things you need to know for your first meeting.
These are right off the start, and also what the expectation is, and what they can expect from Tracy. Okay, she needs to put out the board minutes and stuff like that. She's got to have everything no later than Monday morning, say at 8 o'clock. Because in my mind, that's probably more reasonable. And it's because you've always got a little weekend time beforehand. Fridays and Thursdays for me are terrible. But anyway, if you start to look at it, and then it can be in the record. And I've been guilty of bringing it tonight. Mine's handwritten because I hadn't had time to do it. And that's not horrible, but it makes it harder for Tracy to put it into the minutes. I don't think there's a discipline, and there should be a little bit of discipline with it. So a checklist of what?
Just of all the things like, I have to sign things, right? I mean, we can go through that, I don't know if we can do tonight, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
There are the
you need
tasks.
5 minutes, I'll have it.
Yeah, the tasks that the board members required to do on a monthly basis.
Yeah, signing invoices, what you got up there.
Yep.
Okay, hit me with some more.
The board report or the.
Yeah, make sure
report.
you have your reports in a timely fashion.
You know, I thought I graduated.
As a full week from school or what?
Like the one you read.
I wonder if, you know, like you mentioned, that it's due the Friday before, there's a lot that can happen. at
Thursday
one
before the Friday.
Right,
Well, we just, we
we
just
don't,
have to decide what
we
day.
have to decide. My recommendation, and before I spend a lot of hours on it, would be at least Monday morning by 8 o'clock. What are your thoughts on that, Tracy? That would work?
The week of the meeting. So.
Yeah, so that if something goes on the weekend, we can still deal with it on Monday.
How about Monday at noon in case there's some discussion or something that has to be followed up, if you're before business
Right
hours.
here, she's the customer.
Yeah.
She's okay, she says, yeah, so noon, okay.
Okay, noon,
And then, I mean, so just the process stuff. The harassment, you know, there's a bunch of New York State rules.
we have to
So we have to
sign,
list all them so that we know, so if we have a list of all the things that we need to agree to, accept, whatever, the information about, you know, procurement policy, discussions of procurement policy, how bids happen. As long as we have these little things,
that's all in that.
yeah, but again, so just, okay, these are the check boxes that we have to understand moving
Okay.
forward.
Oh, there's a list right in here already, duties and responsibilities.
Right,
But you have to read it.
yeah,
Well,
You have to
so,
read it.
well, that's the thing. I think-
again, I didn't get this page when I started, so it'd be nice to get this page.
So
There you
if,
go.
if you get.
Day one, page one.
You could read it to you.
Yeah.
Or you could.
I
Whoa.
think you have to have people sign off on it. We can't make them read it. We can't,
Yeah.
but you can then hold them accountable if they don't do it. And they might sound awful, but for the rest of us, you know, it's hard. So we actually have a policy that we passed as to when the agenda should be and that sort of thing done. Because it should be 72 hours before the meeting, correct? That's right. 72 hours before the meeting, we should have the agenda and it should be open to the public. And the information should be there. Board members shouldn't be expected to, if this is a light, summertime is always light. But when you get a lot of stuff, you've had packets that are this thick when you get them. And so if you get down here, so if the printed copy is available at such and such a time, that's a good thing. If the printed copy is not available, then we get it when we do, but Tracy's been great about sending it electronically, so we do get it that way. But there hasn't been,
What I have, I can only send what I have.
right, that's
I
correct,
just said, I
that's correct,
don't have a report, I cannot send a
no,
report.
that's,
So I
that's
just said that
correct.
today. If an employee sends the report not to me, then I
Right.
cannot put it in the packet.
Right.
So,
So that gets down to your commissioner duty, but your commissioner duty. You all got baptized by practice, so your commissioner duty, if you're collecting the things, your commissioner duty then is to get that report in to Tracy, or the employee. It has a duty to get it to you and to Tracy. So you tell me what you want it to be and we put it in there. I don't think this is something, I went to do this and I thought to myself, well, I know about the checks and that's gotta be done. And when are the checks available? That's another thing. Checks are available usually. Yeah, I've done them at noon. I'm Thursday. I think I've done them at noon on Wednesday.
they're available on Wednesday,
Okay,
which that
so noon on Wednesday.
would be. Melanie and I would prefer everybody to come in prior to 6 o'clock
Yeah.
on the village board day to
But-
sign them.
But we wanna make sure that they get signed, so.
Okay.
there are
Because
things that
then-
happen.
Because if it's a push, then,
Mhm.
then.
Right.
Or if there's questions or anything.
Right.
Deal with it.
Anything.
And Tracy is great about answering the question on the fly. I tested her lots of times. A lot, haven't I? I'm sorry. Not really. That's your job and my job.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I think we're all in agreement, so we
Yeah.
just have to,
Is there anything more here? I'd also like to see there was, planning board. So if you have a blurb you want about the responsibilities of the committee that as you're working on it, it should be in here. So that next person comes in for the water department, it's got an idea of what their responsibilities are. So if you can get that to me, I'll get us a straw dog, because my September is gonna be beautiful.
Okay.
And I'll be glad to do that, then we put it in. If you see anything in this, you need to look at it. We all need to read it, and then make a change if you don't agree with something. And,
okay,
okay?
Yep.
And that's
Thanks.
the end of my thing, and I'm still in the paper. Cause I won't remember it later.
Shredder.
So that's the end.
Yes.
In as work stuff.
New business, I do have some stuff I just want to bring up. One of the things we did is, we had a couple of calls from the lady on Wickham Boulevard concerning speed. So we went to Kevin Rooney to see about getting some 30-mile-an-hour speed signs. We were gonna put them up just around the corner on Wickham, down on the other end on Wickham. However, a good point was brought up to Tracy and those guys about the fact that all the streets in Sodas Point right now are 30 miles an hour. That's the maximum. Instead of putting signs up, we ended up, Tracy came up with an idea of like the handicap crosswalk signs down on the end of Wickham, down near the county thing. We put one in the middle on the street of each one of those crosswalks. I call it speed mediation, because then we took some that were orange and red and put them between like 5th and 6th in the middle, 6th and 7th in the middle. And I've had a lot of good response of people that have said it's keeping the speed down. I met with some people at 7:15 this morning, not God, but, and, we discussed, they had a couple of things they talked about, speed bumps and this stuff, and, we tried to stay away from that. As of right now, it's working. We put a new sign in front of 650 in that crosswalk, because that crosswalk has gotten extremely dangerous because the grass is a little bit tall, and people, like they do with crosswalks, they just, and out they come. That's a narrow crosswalk in there, streetwise. And it's helped immensely because people are slowing down, even though the crosswalk sign says stop when somebody's in the crosswalk. They're stopping in the middle of the street anyways, which is okay until somebody gets rear-ended because they didn't pay attention, but we did one there, we did one in front of the information booth. I told Prenzers or anybody that's downtown, if you need to move them out of the middle during boat season, just make sure you put them back for like the weekends or whatever, because that's why they're down there. We've had one so far that somebody got a hold of and spun it around or flattened it or something, but it's back on its feet, so. But they've worked out very well, very, very well. Let's see what else is here. The ROW sign, the right-of-way sign on the east end of the right-of-way was 30 feet away from the opening over by the big stones, and it was turned, so it was really kind of difficult to read. The gentleman there where Guy used to live gave me a call. We talked to the highway boys. They moved it back right to the opening, right along the fence. It stares straight out. It's as plain as day. And I haven't heard any complaints back from him yet down there. He did have a couple of people that were going through there with motorized bicycles and that kind of thing. And it says right on the sign that no motorized vehicles. But in any case, we've gone in that direction, tried to help out there. You know, that's all we can do. Keep moving and see what we get back from them and go from there. There was a question today about getting one of the signs that reads the speed. Because we were talking about how people say, oh, God, they were doing 50 miles an hour. Well, when they got the information back from the sign, in fact, there's not many people that can pick a speed and say, well, they were doing 50 when actually they were doing 35 or 40 or whatever it may be. So we're gonna try and do that in the spring. When things start to pop around here, I say spring, May, something like that again down there, to just track it a little bit. Other than that, in new business, that's all I've got. If anybody else has got anything they want to add here. Okay, bills.
Right, 8-4 through 844, totaling 78,649. General, 31,886. Water, 25,995. And wastewater, 20,767.
Motion
So,
passed, or excuse me. Second,
Second.
all in favor?
I,
Okay, let's get over that. Now, tonight, we gotta go into executive session. That'll be the next thing that we do. Now, how do I do this? I haven't handled this yet.
You need to state the basis for it, and then you gotta call for a motion.
Okay, it's labor related.
I'll make a motion that, we go into executive session for employee matters and
I have only
litigation.
two, but it's different. I have a motion for, so you might want to take two of them. And I don't know, can you do that, or how do you do it? Because it's
It
different.
would just be to go into executive session, but just state your reason on top of it, so it'd be for personnel employee matters, for
This is
discuss. potential
legal
litigation.
acquisition presentation of land acquisition
Yeah, this-
easement, and I'd like to invite Phil Bjorn for just the presentation that he wants to give for that,
Before we go into our
before we go into the one on the
regular
other
executive
stuff.
session.
But they're both executive session
They're-
matters.
Yes.
They're both executive.
Am I present for either of them, or do you want me, neither of them? Do you want me,
Why don't you state the first one?
the first one? Okay,
Or if you can.
okay, whatever you want me, I just wanna make sure I'm not overselling.
So, thank you, everybody. We greatly appreciate it. I'm sorry.
I'll make the motion to, for,
The two of you.
or tag onto her, and I'll second it. How's
Yeah,
that?
there you go.
Take it onto her.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, you. Have a good night, folks. Thanks, Mayor.
We're here if you want.
Oh, wait,
Wait,